So, can you tell me what your name is and a little bit about your occupation?
Sure, I'm Patrick Healy. I'm a political reporter at the New York Times. I cover the 2016 presidential campaign, both the Democrats and the Republicans.
So, you talked about Senator Bernie Sanders and how he has really closed the gap in between him and Secretary Clinton. But as we both know, the New York Times endorses candidates each election, and they chose to endorse Secretary Clinton this year. So I don't know if you had any sort of say in that, or if you disagree or agree. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, it's so interesting. So the news side of the New York Times and most newspapers is really separate from the editorial side. It's a whole different staff, but 15 people who are on the editorial board, and they sort of sit around and talk about kind of what they think the opinions of like the New York Times should be, and they consult with the publisher of the paper. It's his paper, about who they're going to endorse. Sometimes, well, what happens is most of the candidates come in to meet with the editorial board, and they kind of interview the candidates. So like Donald Trump came in for like 90 minutes, Hillary Clinton came in, and they'll do an interview. They'll ask the questions about policies that the editorial board, cares about, and based on the answers, that'll affect who they'll endorse. So they really liked Secretary Clinton's answers. They really liked John Kasich, the governor of Ohio's answers, more than I think the other candidates. So sometimes a reporter might get invited to sort of sit in on those sessions, not to ask questions or to influence the editorial board, but maybe just to hear what the candidate's saying, because if you cover the candidate, that might be useful to you to hear it. But reporters don't have anything to do with what the editorial board decides. It's really like an independent judgment. And, if I am out there covering candidates and they're like, well, your newspaper endorsed Hillary Clinton, I can say, well, Senator Sanders, that wasn't me. That was the editorial board. And it's true. I don't take my marching orders from them.